What's good, YouTube, and welcome back to the channel. Today I wanted to go over a hidden gem of the upcoming format post Legacy of Destruction, Melodious. This is a deck that I think has high potential in order to do amazing things on the regional and even YCS circuit in the upcoming format. Melodious is an older deck from the Arc V era that Konami has graciously decided to show some love to with 4 new cards, 2 fusion monsters, 2 pendulum monsters, and a fusion spell. My bad, 5 new cards. And these cards are great. They take Melodious from a table 1000 deck to a potential tier 1.5 deck, definitely a tier 2 rogue deck. And I think that it's not getting enough talk. So I'm here to show you guys 2 combos and a sample deck list donated to me by Mr. Lundradi Velant, who will also be doing a spreadsheet on Melodious and other strategies coming out in Legacy of Destruction in the upcoming month. So for this first combo, we're using one of the new cards called Refrain the Melodious Songstress. This card says on normal special summon, it adds a Melodious monster from your deck to your hand. And both of the new Melodious Pendulum monsters have the effect that when they are in the face-up extra deck and you special summon a fusion monster, they put themselves into the pendulum scale. So for this combo, you're going to normal summon Refrain. Refrain will add the other new pendulum monster, Couplet, the Melodious Songstress. You're going to scale Couplet, and the Couplet's effect will trigger in order to add the new spell card from your deck to your hand, Melodious Concerto. Concerto allows you to fusion summon using monsters from your hand, field, or pendulum scale. So we're going to fuse our 2 pendulums into the new fusion monster, Boccia the Melodious Song Maestro. This is probably the most important of the new cards. It requires 2 Melodious monsters, and it says your Melodious fusion monster's activated effects cannot be negated while you control this fusion summoned card. And when it's special summoned, it special summons a Melodious monster from your deck. And then once it's sent to the graveyard, it special summons a Melodious monster from your grave. This card is an amazing extender. So Chain Link 1 will be Boccia to summon from deck, 2 will be Couplet, 3 will be Refrain, put themselves in the pendulum scale, and then we'll summon an older Melodious card called Shaputa the Melodious Maestro. Once per turn, this card adds a light fairy from the graveyard to the hand. Now we're going to use Refrain's pendulum effect in order to dump a Melodious monster from the deck to the graveyard to target a fusion and boost it by the level times 200. So then we're going to activate our guy in order to add back Aria the Melodious Diva from our graveyard back to your hand. Then we're going to link our 2 monsters away into Bloom Harmonist the Melodious Composer. When this card is link summoned, you discard a card to summon 2 Melodious monsters from your deck with different levels to the zones. And then you're locked into Melodious for the rest of the turn. So this is a true 1-card combo because your Maestro will add back whatever you decide to dump. For this combo, we're dumping Aria. You'll add it back to your hand and then send it again for the Composer. And then Boccia will be Chain Link 2 in order to reborn Melodious from the grave, and then Chain Link 3 will be our Concerto, which this card says if a fusion monster is sent to the graveyard while this card's in the graveyard, you can put it to the bottom of your deck to draw a card. So we're chain blocking everything with our draw. So we draw, we summon back our add back, and then we summon 2 guys from our deck with different levels, being another Couplet and Soprano. Soprano says when this card is special summoned, you target a Melodious monster in your graveyard, add it back to your hand, and then once per turn, it's a fusion. It's a polymerization. So we're going to fuse our Couplet and our Soprano into Scuberta. Scuberta set requires 2 Melodious monsters and says during either player's turn, you can target up to 3 cards in any graveyards, banish them, and this card gains 200 attack for each. So now we're going to activate our Maestro to add back our Soprano, and we're going to perform a Pendulum Summon. We're going to Pendulum Summon our Couplet, our Soprano, and our Aria. This card is a very interesting card. This is kind of the card that the deck revolved around in its table 500 form, but it still finds a way to see play in the actual deck, which I think is really nice. And it says while this special summon card is on the field, Melodious monsters you control cannot be targeted with card effects or destroyed by battle. So this card creates a soft lock where you have to find a way to out these monsters without killing them or targeting them. So not a lot of cards can do that. And that's really, really good. So Soprano, like a lot of the older Melodious monsters, are not hard once per turn. So you're able to fusion summon again to summon the new boss monster of the deck, Flowerous, the Melodious Grand Choir. It requires a Melodious Maestra plus 2 Melodious monsters and says quick effect. You can banish any number of Melodious monsters you control until the end phase, then return return the same amount of face-up cards your opponent controls to the hand. Then you can. So, and then if it's sent to the graveyard by an opponent's card, you special summon a Melodious monster from your deck or extra deck. So on your end board, your monsters can't die by battle, they can't be targeted. You have a banish 3 and you have a multiple bounce. So the reason why this is really good is, keep in mind you did this off of 1 card. So you have 5 more cards in your hand because you also drew a card during your combo. So the 1 card that you use in order to do this combo is replaced with a draw. So you have 5 more cards in your hand, and this is a mid-range deck, and you'll be playing 15 plus hand traps in your deck. So the next combo that we have is, this is the end board that you're able to get to, and this is also off of a 1 card combo. So let's restart it. So for this 1 card combo, we have probably the most powerful single card in the deck, being Astronoto. Astronoto says if you control no monsters, special summon 1 Melodious fusion monster from your extra deck using monsters from your hand and or deck as fusion material. During the end of the turn, destroy the fusion monster summoned by this effect, and if all the fusion material are still in the graveyard, you special summon them back. So there's one important thing that this card is missing. It's a Melodious lock. So this card doesn't lock you into Melodious. So for this combo, we're going to fuse our 2 Pendulum monsters from deck in order to summon our big Bacha. Bacha will summon out our add back. Our add back will add back Couplet. Couplet's hand effect says if this card is added to your hand except by drawing it, you reveal it, special summon a level 4 or lower Melodious from the grave. We're going to special summon back our Refrain and add our Soprano. We're going to scale our Couplet, add our fusion spell. We're going to activate our fusion spell to fuse our 2 Pendulum monsters and our Maestra to summon a Flowerous super early in this combo. So the reason why we summon Flowerous super early is it helps us play around Nibiru by banishing our own Flowerous, basically, and anything else that we would want to save from Nibiru, and then it just comes back during the end phase. Both of our Pendulum Scales trigger to put themselves in the Pendulum Zone. We're going to activate Refrain in order to dump Sonato. Sonato is a generic extender for the deck. It allows you to special summon itself if you control a Melodious monster. We're going to normal summon our Soprano. Soprano effect is going to trigger in order to summon out Scoberta. It's going to trigger our Bacha and our Fusion Spell. Fusion Spell will put itself back to the bottom to draw a card. Then we'll summon back our Maestra. Our Maestra will add back Soprano to our hand. Then we'll Pendulum summon Soprano effect in order to add Sonata back to our hand. Then we'll special Sonata because we control Melodious. Then we'll link those 2 away into IP Masquerade. So with this combo, we have an IP into SP play with the material right there, so we don't have to use any of our good fusion monsters. We have a banish 3 and then a multiple bounce. So this is all again off of 1 card. Your 1 card replaces itself, and you have 5 other cards in hand, and this is really strong. And I think that this deck has a lot of potential. So here is a sample deck list. I'm not going to make you guys wait like for the Tenpai video, but you don't have to mind the non-engine. The non-engine doesn't really matter now because we don't know what the format is going to look like. But you basically play 3 of the new Pendulum monsters, 3 Astronotos, and 3 Sonatas because it's the generic extender. Then you play 1 of each cannon, which is also another generic extender, but is worse than Sonata because you can only special summon it once per turn. 1 Aria as a engine end board piece, and then 1 of the Shapina, which is a engine requirement, and then 2 Soprano, which is your fusion spell / engine requirement. And then 3 of this card, which we didn't really discuss, but it's called First Movement Solo. And if you control no monsters, you can special summon a Melodious monster from your hand or deck, but you're locked into Melodious for the rest of the turn. So it's basically like Astronoto, except it does actually lock you into Melodious for the rest of the turn, but you still play 3 of it because it's basically an emergency teleport that gets you to the first combo that I showed off. So yeah, that's kind of all I really have to say about this deck. I think that this deck has a lot of potential and is definitely something that you guys should look out for. pick up your first movements. They're already kind of going up in price, and I think that this deck will probably see some competitive success. So thank you. We're very close to hitting 200 subscribers on the YouTube, and I appreciate all the support that we've been getting. Expect the Tenpai video up within the next couple of days. Thank you. Have a great day. Peace.